Math. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. I hope you enjoyed the TikTok video that I made for this video. If you want, you can go ahead and follow me. I do follow back on TikTok. So let's get started with today's lesson. You should have already done the launch, which asks you to multiply some binomials. Some things that I noticed from the previous video or previous lesson is a lot of people are forgetting to do this part of the launch, which is usually a lesson that connects to the day's lesson. All I ask is that you just try it. Just write something down. It doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. I'm just kind of looking at it to gauge where you're at, and it helps you just get grounded and get started for today. So the checklist for today, you're going to complete your launch, then watch the sections of the Edpuzzle videos that you need. Remember that the timestamps are there so that you can jump around so that you don't have to watch the entire video. Complete all of the check for understandings in Edpuzzle and your notes guide. So you should do them in your notes guide first, put them into Edpuzzle, and then if you get them wrong, you're going to correct them in your notes guide. Complete your exit ticket on quizzes, and today we are doing Renaissance. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Last week, we learned about rainbow and box method to distribute, which means to multiply binomials. So since we learned how to distribute, we're now going to learn how to do the opposite, which means to factor. Since distributing means to multiply and put things together, we can think of factoring as dividing and pulling things apart. Whenever I think about factoring, I ask myself, what two numbers do I need to multiply to get the number I want? Both of these things go hand in hand. So for example, I give this image to you. 2 times y plus 1. So if I distribute, meaning I'm going to multiply the 2 in, I get this answer, 2y plus 2. Now if I factor, meaning I'm going to pull out a 2 from both of these, that means that I get 2 times y plus 1. This is something that Mr. Chavez has already done with you. I'm going to be teaching factoring differently than he is. So we're going to spend a few days learning about factoring the following things. We're going to learn how to factor whole numbers that are positive and negative. That's what we're doing today. So this is today. And quadratic and equations is going to be later this week. So we're going to learn how to do that later this week. So let's go ahead and get started. What are the factors of 6? Well, the factors of 6, so we're going to ask ourselves, right? And remind ourselves that factors are numbers that we can multiply to get the number we want. And in this case, we want positive 6. So the factors of 6 are 1 times 6 and 2 times 3. But these are not the only ones. We need to remind ourselves something. The number we're looking at is positive and we're multiplying. So that means that both of our factors can be negatives to get us a positive answer. This means that negative 1 times negative 6 and negative 2 times negative 3 are also factors of 6. So that means that the factors of 6 are 1 times 6, 2 times 3, negative 1 times negative 6, and negative 2 times negative 3. Let's try another example. What are the factors of 24? So what numbers can you multiply to get 24? Well, I can do 1 times 24, 2 times 12, 3 times 4. Nope, that's wrong. 1 times 24, 2 times 12, 3 times 8, and 4 times 6. I can also do negative 1 times negative 24, negative 2 times negative 12, negative 3 times negative 8, or negative 6 times negative 4. All right. All of these are factors of 24. Right. And I want you to remind you that the negatives, these are factors too, because negative times a negative makes a positive number. All right. So, you're going to try this one on your own. Try this one. Complete the problem first on your own and submit your answers on Edpuzzle. Read the feedback on Edpuzzle once you submit your answer. If you got the answer wrong, watch and correct your work in red. You won't be marked down for getting this part wrong. What are the factors of 30? And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different factors that you can do. You're going to go ahead and submit your answers now. Okay. So, what are the factors of 30? Well, there's 1 times 30. There's 2 times 15. There's 3 times 10. There's 5 times 6. Okay? We can also have -1 times -30, -2 times -15, -3 times -10, and -5 times -6. All right. So that's going over factors for a positive number. For a positive number, you need to remember that you can have factors that are positive and you have to have factors that are negative. And both of them have to be negative. Here's the next one. What are the factors of -8? Well, we want our results to be -8. The negative tells us that one of the factors has to be negative and the other one has to be positive. So, this means we have -1 times 8, because we have one of them is negative and one of them is positive. -2 times -2 times 4, because we have -1 times -8 is -8. -2 times -2 times 4 is -8 as well. But you can also have 1 times -8, because these are two different numbers now, and +2 times -4. So this means that the factors of -8 are 1, -1 times 8, -2 times 4, 1 times -8, and 2 times -4. Moving on. Let's try another example. What are the factors of -40? So remember, we want a factor to be -40. That means that one of them is going to be positive, one of them is going to be negative. So let's start. We have 1 times -40. We have 2 times -20. We have 4 times -10. And we have 5 times -8. Now remember, we have to do the other ones too. So that means -1 times 40, -2 times 20, -4 times 10, and -5 times 8. Okay, try this one. Complete this problem first on your own and submit your answers on Edpuzzle. Read the feedback on Edpuzzle once you submit your answer. If you got the answer wrong, watch the video and correct the work in red. You won't be marked down for getting this part wrong, but if you do get it wrong and you don't correct it in red, I will mark you down. What are the factors of -45? So, go ahead and submit your answers now. We have 1 times -45. We have 5 times -9. We have 3 times -15. We have -1 times -45. And I didn't put enough dots, so I'm going to go ahead and put in more into your document now. We have -5 times -9, -5 times +9, and -3 times 15. Okay, that's it for today's lesson. You're going to go ahead and complete quizzes as your exit ticket, as well as using the code if it needs you to if it asks you for the code. You're going to complete 1 practice of Renaissance today, meaning you're going to do 6 problems. Once you do that, insert the picture of your score into the box. If Renaissance isn't working, you're going to watch this video. And if it still doesn't work, you're going to go ahead and email me so I can send you your practice. And then you'll send me your answers to your practices so I can submit them for you. I hope you have a wonderful day, and Don't forget that if you need help, that you can come to office hours from Tuesday to Friday from 1 to 2 p.m.